Hello there, boys and girls. My name is Rapskilian, and welcome back to episode number 15 of For the Content. I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Colesy.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
How you doing today, Colesy?
I'm good. It's not too early, so it's okay.
I told you about the time last night, and you were like, "Yeah, I don't have to wake up early in the morning."
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I get a lay-in.
I didn't get a lay in this morning.
No, you're a busy boy.
I'm a very busy boy. My wife is sick, and she had to go to work.
Oh dear.
And I was like, okay, I have to wake up early with the kids and take care of the kids and everything. But yeah, I'm fine. Also. Thank you for asking.
Sorry, it just feels it's so strange to me that every podcast we start by going, "How are you?" But it's just because we're just being nice and saying like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, I don't know whether people care.
It's a good conversation starter.
It's just polite, you know.
So, did you hear the update? I'm just going to jump right into this. Did you hear the update about the TwitchCon fiasco?
No, I've been following the developments of the person's recovery, but other than that, no, I've not heard much other than that. She's doing well.
So she's doing well. Did you know she was pregnant?
I did see that. That was that's a horrible thing to happen to anybody.
That was so sad. That gave me like a gut punch when I heard that. And she just said it like, "Oh, by the way, I was pregnant, and well, I'm not anymore."
Yeah,
because of the operation. I was like, I think when she said that, the lawyers at Lenovo, like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're out.
All of their buttholes tightened up at once. Jesus. Oh no. Yeah, no, it was obviously we spoke about this before. It was an awful thing to happen.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm surprised at how quickly she's recovered. She's not fully recovered, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I expected it to be a much longer road, and I'm sure she's in a lot of pain and dealing with it still. But she's back into streaming, and she's getting on with it, and I respect that. So
there's a lot of
impressive.
respect behind that because, her job is sitting down in front of a computer, so she could just sit down. She doesn't have to do that. But I recently hurt my back also.
Oh, you're an old man too. Yeah.
Not because of jumping into a unsafe foam pit.
No.
I picked up a package at work which was labeled incorrectly. Because usually if a package is over 20 kilograms or something like that, have a big fat neon sticker on it that highlights this thing is heavy. Be careful when lifting it up.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that. There was no sticker on it, and it was a power generator in the box, which was not
heavy.
It was really heavy.
Yeah.
And I lifted to put it in my car, and lifting small package, and I see the box. I'm like, oh, that's a big box. I could put that in the back. And I picked it up and I yanked it because I was trying to be fast. And it's like a big clack sound in the back of the lower back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's gonna hurt later.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's fine. I've done that before. I cracked my back on by accident or something. I didn't. It was only painful for a few hours.
Right.
And then the next day, I was like, ooh, it's a bit stiff.
Yeah.
It's been a week now, and when I sit down for more than half an hour, it starts to burn.
Oh, that's not good.
It's really kind of uncomfortable pain. And of course, for my job, I drive around and get in and get out of the car. And it's painful. And I went to a course for work. And the chairs that they have there are supposed to be these ergonomic chairs. Oh my God, they hurt the worst.
Do you think maybe the ergonomicness was helping your back, and actually the pain, it's getting better and you're just having to go through the pain?
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking about. That might be one of those situations where it's when you... Have you ever had this situation when you had a long, tough day and you lay flat on the floor with your back?
Yeah.
And you get that, it's pain, but it's also a very...
Yeah,
pleasant,
it's like stretching your back out, and it hurts, but you're I know it needs to be done.
It's so good, but painful. Exactly that, maybe that feeling. But at this moment, I have so much pain. And also, a day before that accident happened, I twisted my ankle.
Oh, for God.
Also at work, because
you're just dangerous.
because it's raining outside, and the grass, this is a small patch of grass. I thought it was stable enough to walk over, and I put my foot on it, and it twisted. And 20 minutes later, I step on a button. Leaves are dangerous, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I discovered that this week as well. Leaves. Slippy, turns out.
Slippery.
Yeah.
31 years in this world. 31 years in this world. I've never, ever have I had the thing where I'm like, I have to be careful for those leaves. I've always ran through leaves, walked through leaves, and now I'm like, there's some leaves on the ground.
Yep.
I don't trust you.
See, I had that. So let's talking about work weeks, because that's how we start the podcast, apparently. So I had a day at work. I've been working a lot less on the farm, but
okay.
I had a day where I did. It was like a 10-hour day, and I spent all day washing tractors down. When they'd come onto the farm, I had to pressure wash them down and like get all the mud off them, and then they went and did their thing, and then they left.
Yeah.
Then when they'd come back, I'd wash them again. And I had the thing. I had that thing where my back was so like, because I'd been hunched over washing these tractors. Got home and I was like, oh, my back. But exactly that thing. Obviously, I'm using a lot of water. It's autumn time. There's leaves on the floor. It's muddy. Oh, it was just treacherous. Such a treacherous, and it was such a long day. But yeah, got to do what you got to do for the money, you know.
For the monies, man. For the monies. Yep. Yeah, no, like that happened, and like I don't know, like we're old, and the thing is, my right foot that got twisted 2 times in a row. Yeah. It sometimes hurts in the morning, but I'm like, it's fine.
At what point do you think you'll go and see a doctor about your injuries?
If I can't stand up anymore.
Okay.
For the back, that's
how are you getting to the doctor then? You're like, I physically can't move. This is when I need a doctor, but I can't.
You've heard that song? I'm rolling. Yeah. Like, I'm going to roll to the doctor or ask my wife, then she'll probably divorce me and leave me alone.
Carry me, wife, please.
It's like, die. Or if my foot gets swollen.
Yes. Yeah.
If the ankle gets swollen, then I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
What about your back though? Like, is it getting better, or is
no,
it's just okay? Maybe
it's pretty much the same.
I don't know. Have you like slipped a disc? I don't know what that feels
like.
I imagine that's like painful.
The funny thing is, like, at the course that I'm doing now for work, they're like, work safety.
Yeah.
OSHA. You have to lift up the thing. I'm like, yeah, but what if somebody fucking doesn't label the boxes correctly? What do I do then? They're like, well, then that's that person's mistake.
You definitely don't lift.
I have a story for you.
You don't lift with a jerking, twisting motion. That's part of it. I've had to do those courses as well. They're like bend from the knees and lift, and you're like, oh my god, this is so boring. I hate this.
Yeah, but it's true. But the thing is, like, I stuck by that rule always when I pick up packages that I know that are large, heavy packages. Okay, this is fine. But if a box is like this size, I'm not gonna go like.
No, you're not. You're going to assume it's not full of lead and it's like the heaviest, densest thing on the planet. No, exactly.
But I've had moments where we get small packages in like a little small A5 format.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to be light. And I pick it up and I'm like, what the god is in this thing?
Somebody's sending ridiculously heavy items.
Yeah, it was gold bars.
What?
Yeah, someone sent gold bars through our services.
Now, how much of a risk is it that you just slip? Oh, it fell off the back of the van. I'm sorry.
I told him, like, I'm like, dude, I asked the guy, I gave him the package, like, what is inside this box? It's so heavy. He's like, oh, it's gold.
Jesus.
I laughed. Ha 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 ha.
He's like, no.
No, seriously, he opens it, like, it's 2 gold bars.
How much is that worth?
Probably a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the value of gold.
I said, like, why did you just send us through our services? It's really unsecure. He's like, oh no, I trust you guys.
I like the way that your like own employers, you're like, no, we're shit. We're really bad, honestly. Like, what are you doing, man?
No, it's you don't use our services for that kind of thing. That's you use like armed guards and like dudes with ninja hats and
apparently
shit.
Not. Apparently he's got money to lose, mate. See? Yeah, I mean, you live in the rich country, so I mean, you know.
Yeah, the thing with Switzerland's rich. With the people always assume people in Switzerland are super rich. They are, but
they assume it because it's true.
There's a small percentage of them. It's like in most countries, a small percentage of people that are like middle class, and then upper class, and then the super, 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 super duper rich people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Switzerland's wealth, it's very stagnant.
Right.
If it makes any sense. So a lot of these farmers have an insane amount of money in their banks.
Uh-huh.
And it's always going to generation.
Yeah.
But then they don't spend it.
That's what money's for.
No, but the thing is, like, you have to work an economy, you have to keep it in circulation, buying food, services, and so people can pay taxes with that income. You know, it has to be a moving ball. You can't just hold and hoard your money.
Hold the money.
You can't be smog from under the mountain. You have to spread the wealth. You have to keep going. These farmers, some of these guys that I know, one guy's parents died and he inherited an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Oh, I'm just going to keep it in the bank.
Yeah.
Keep it for my kids. I'm like, you don't have any kids.
I
have kids.
And they'll be
Give
rich.
me the money.
You got to be like best friends with them so that then, like, you know, if they die, you're like, oh, I'm in the will. It's all left to me. Yeah. I have a question, actually, talking about
go ahead.
Switzerland's wealth, because you're in a Swiss place.
Mm-hmm.
My dad asked me the other day, because we were talking about, I mentioned you, and he's like, oh, where's he live again? I'm like, Switzerland. He's like, what's the deal with Swiss bank accounts? Because as a UK person, it's one of those things that the rich people hide their money or whatever in a Swiss bank account. Now, explain why that's the thing. Is there like no tax or something? I don't get it.
So our country is neutral.
Yeah.
Meaning neutrality, and also bank secrets is a very vital export-import for our country.
Uh-huh.
Meaning, if you are arrested in your home country for a federal crime or a local crime,
right,
the government cannot seize your assets in Switzerland.
Oh, okay. So it's like a safety, like if I keep my money
it's a
over
safety
there,
net. Yeah,
it's all good over there.
But that used to be that anyone could sign up for a Swiss bank account. My dad had a Swiss account when he was living in South Africa because he was working around internationally. So he's like, oh, that's a good idea. You know, worst case scenario, you guys could get the money from there. Now they're very, very selective for people that are not Swiss citizens.
Yeah.
Like if your business is not clean in the sense of if you do work in the adult industry, in certain dark gray areas,
right,
they won't open an account for you.
Right. Okay.
They're like, no, we don't want to get involved with this because Switzerland used to be super, super tight-lipped and super tight, like neutral country. Like they didn't allow anything to come in like that.
Yeah.
But with the recent change of recent political situations and so forth, like huge scandals with one of the biggest banks in Switzerland, UBS, being like caught with doing basically scamming people in the US and stuff like that.
Okay.
The bank secrets have slowly come unraveled.
Right.
And it's like teetering on this little, on the edge of becoming collapsing and then just becoming open game for all the, federal agencies or whatever to come to take all the criminals.
Right. Yeah.
So they're like really careful what they do right now. Because we have money from Putin. We have money from the Saudi families. We have a lot of dirty money in our banks in Switzerland. Let's be honest. We had an atrocious. That's what Swiss people always say. This is the fucked up thing. This is going too far maybe. They say, we don't need to worry about Russia or anyone.
Uh-huh.
Because why would you burn your own wallet? That's not me.
No,
that's
but
like Swiss people like, they're not going to do it. Why would they burn? That's a Swiss politician statement also, by the way. Why would you burn your wallet?
They do have a point, though, if you think about it.
Have a point.
Kinda. But then also, let's face it, when you're talking about money nowadays is just numbers on a server. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not as if like you're literally like destroying cash. You're just like, we'll just...
No, but if you attack Switzerland, then basically they just push delete and your finances are gone.
Exactly. That's really weird, isn't it? Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you've got hundreds of millions and they go, nope. And you're like, where's it gone? And they go, oh, it's just gone. You're like, it's gone somewhere, and they're like, no, just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, they could just delete it. That's the thing. The government
It's crazy. Turns out the world weird, really
is
mental,
weird.
and it's full of dodgy stuff.
I've always thought we still had if you like, because paper money, like the dollar bills or paper UK bills,
Yeah.
that was all a receipt that you could go to the bank and say, I want to get gold for this.
Yes, that was the idea.
So the bank would usually normally say, okay, this amount of cash is this amount of gold, so here's your gold, right? That's what that was all about.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's no more the standard of gold, it's a dollar standard to dollar.
Right. It's really
gold
weird.
standard doesn't exist anymore. We're basically, all our economies are on the US dollar.
Okay, yeah, well...
So if the US economy fails...
we're all screwed.
Exactly!
Hell no.
Who did that?
I don't know. Turns out, running a planet, very difficult
Very
and confusing.
confusing.
Yeah. Oh, okay, no, that's all right. That's you've
Sorry for
informed
the little
me.
tangent of... Just for the little tangent there.
I've learned about Swiss bank accounts. I don't think I need one. I don't have any money, so it's fine.
Yeah, I had a bank account. I had 2-3 bank accounts.
I mean, technically, you've got a Swiss bank account. I mean,
Yeah, I have
guess,
to have one.
because
yeah.
you live there. I mean, it's like being in a tax haven and then being like, well, yeah, obviously I don't pay tax because I live here. It's fine.
I pay taxes. I pay a lot of taxes. Oh my god, so much taxes.
Okay, well let's not talk taxes.
No, let's not get into that. But
No, because I don't want to get anyone into trouble. Or say something that I am mistaken about. Not that that sounds like I'm dodging taxes. I'm not dodging taxes. I was just fine.
do you guys have an IRS in the UK?
Yeah, we have the HMRC.
They're probably like
Majesty's Revenue and Customs. Exactly. Yeah.
Colesy.
I have to fill in a tax return every year for YouTube and streaming and stuff, and I have to put how much I've earned and all that crap, how much I've spent, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you can write off a lot of things, can't you?
Oh, it's good to buy a game and be like, that's for work. Actually, I think fine, that's for work. So yeah, the new Pokemon, that's a work expense. I've got to pay for that. Yeah.
My tax person was like, oh, so that thing you're doing every night or like online, how much have you earned so far? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, well, have you declared it? I'm like, oh,
no, not
well,
yet.
it's never touched my bank account. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, all my finances, all my money that I get from Twitch and YouTube, everything has always been on my PayPal.
Uh-huh.
So it's never never
you have
physically
to, like, declare PayPal though. You still.
That's the
own
thing. I
them,
asked him, and he's like, he looked at me, and I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I was like, "Because all the finances went into my PayPal,
Yeah.
and I never really touched my Swiss account.
Yeah.
So I've never physically had the money."
Yeah. Well, technically,
and I was like, "So is that okay?" And he's like, "I want to say no."
I'm gonna say no. What you're doing is technically illegal, but it's fine. It's not.
But he asked me like
of
how
money.
much I earned. I said, I think in the last year, I earned $500 to $600 from like doing Twitch and sponsorships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And certain payouts.
Yeah, that used to be a good payout, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about that."
Yeah,
that's just so it's an over 1,000 in a year. You have to declare it as a company.
You have to be a company.
Yeah.
So if
once
you earn over 1,000, you're like, I have to register as Rapskilian Incorporated, and I am a company now. Oh, okay.
Yep.
See, I don't have to do that.
So like, if I earned 1,000 Swiss francs in a month period of time or a year's time, I have to create a company. I'm a CEO, baby.
There's I mean, there's certain protections that I know if I register as a company, like, you know, I can't be sued personally for things. You have to sue the company, and it protects you in that way. And I've had a company before, but it was No, it was when I was 18, me and a friend set up a skateboard brand. And we set that up as a private limited company. That I think you have to set it up, and you have to like then assign shares. So it was like, we have 2 shares. I have 1 and he has 1. Because obviously we don't actually need like 1 million shares or something stupid. So you just do 2. But then, you know, if you're a company, you actually have to go through an accountant every year to do your taxes. You can't just do them yourself.
No, because of like...
because I'm not an accountant. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could also do dodgy shit.
Exactly. So at that point, I mean, I think before we got to the end of the tax year, we were like, we're going to close the company down because I don't fancy paying an accountant like £400 or whatever just to do some stupidly easy accounts. I can do accounts. It's fine. I can do my own now because I do YouTube. Yeah. I'm just me, as I'm not a company. But it's one of those things like, oh man, if I actually made like a good chunk of money, I'd have to get an accountant and then go to them and they'd be like, can you imagine explaining all the expenses, especially the stuff I buy? Because I'll be like, I bought Pokemon cards so I could open on a video, and they're like, so we've got to put Pokemon cards down as an expense, and I'm like, but now that sounds weird, but I guess I'm allowed if it's for content.
Yeah. But
then do the Pokemon cards technically own? They're owned by the company, so I don't own them.
Mm-hmm.
If I get into loads of debt, they'll have to take my Pokemon cards. Imagine a bailiff turning up to like, we need to repossess some things because you owe a lot of money. And they're like, what have you got? And I go, I got this Charizard. It's worth like 200. Fine, you can take it. What a weird experience that was.
So the guy opening his phone, looking at like the value. Yeah, I know that's not worth it. It's devalued. We still need to take another thing.
They want to come in.
They
want to come in and take like equipment, like big work machinery and stuff. But in reality, I don't have anything, so I just have like Pokemon cards and games. I guess my computer would be something they would.
That probably was the first thing they're going to take.
Yeah, I don't want them to take it.
But you could argue. I think you could argue then you can't do that because if you take away the
I can't
the main. You can't work. Then you can't. Then you have the company's going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, but luckily we're not in that. I don't owe loads of money to anyone, so it's fine. It's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's going to be kind of cool because like I'm going to brag the living shit out of everyone to everyone. If I like finally get like over 1,000, I have to make a company. I'm going to wear like a big sign. I am a CEO.
Oh yeah. Then you could have staff and everything. I mean, you don't want to because you'd have to pay them, but you could. Could you have like work experience people and be like, oh yeah, you can come work for my company.
Oh yeah, apprentices.
I'm not going to pay you anything, but you can come work for me and do some editing or something.
Interns.
Yes. Yeah.
I think most of my editors I've had up to this point have been considered interns because I can't pay them most of the time.
Yeah, well,
like I think one of my most long-going editors, Down Dash, I've paid him consistently. I've always paid him because his work is really damn well. But he couldn't do it anymore because of like private reasons, also school and work. I was like, oh shit, I really liked your editing style.
I've done some editing, like alongside.
I saw that you've posted it a few times.
I've done some editing for some other channels, and they used to pay me for it, bit of extra money and stuff. You know,
yeah.
I've got my fingers in some pies. You know, I've done some. I used to do, like QA testing for games.
Okay.
I used to do it was a lot of mobile games, and it was more to do with like checking language translations. Not that I speak any other languages. You'd be way better at the job than me. It'd been translated from like whatever German or whatever it was to English, and then I would basically I'd be given a sheet of tasks, and I'd have to like go through, do it, and just check that the English made sense, and it made sense in English because obviously translations can sometimes be a bit iffy, so they needed an English speaker to do it. Yeah. I used to do that like through the night. It was really weird because it'd be hours and hours and hours. Because it's
probably take a lot of work. If you do a good job, you take hours.
It sounds like a fun thing to do. I mean, like, I used to test games, but really what you did was you repeated the same thing over and over again. Yeah, checking languages, checking every single thing. You know, I got to, you get given the debug menu so you can give yourself like 1 million gems in whatever mobile game because you have to be able to test it. But yeah, it was a lot of, I don't know whether you've ever played them. They're those kind of, it's like a find the item in the room game.
Oh, I hate those so much.
I have tested so many of those. So I can say I worked on those.
Yeah. I hate those games. Not because those games are bad. I hate those games ads.
Yes.
They're so weird, man. It's like the one I saw, the woman's pregnant and the husband punches her in the stomach and she's not pregnant anymore. And then she goes to the grandma and the grandma's like, oh, let me help you. And the camera turns around and she's like, I told him to punch him in the stomach.
I never tried any of those, that weird game. Yeah, there was some that were like,
this, man?
There was some that were like vampire themed. I don't really know.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't have played them myself, but it was quite funny actually. My girlfriend was like, oh, playing this new game. And I was like, I worked on that game. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I don't know why you're playing it. It's really boring. I've played 8 hours last night of that game because I had to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about mobile games. I've been really addicted to mobile Marvel Snap recently.
I saw that you posted about that. What is Marvel Snap? Is it
good.
A collecting game?
No, so you collect cards. It's a card game, but it's like a chess idea. So you have 3 tiles and you 3 main tiles. And each tile has certain effects on cards or does something to their hands. Like one makes rocks appear in your hand.
Okay.
Which have no effect, just spams your hand. Or like it gives you a 2 attack or 2 minus, and you basically that kind of stuff. And you have to place your cards onto the tiles to get the most points. You don't attack the enemy directly. You just try to get as much points on your side. So if you have 2 tiles with more points than he has on 1 tile, you win. So it's always the best of 2 or 3.
Right. Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Vaguely understand. Yeah.
And I like it because it's like a chess kind of game.
Okay.
Like you have to like
tactical.
Yeah, you have to feel like, okay, if I put my strongest card on this deck, on this one place, I'm going to have no more points left for the next one. Or like you have to like kind of
You're thinking multiple moves ahead. You're like, if I place this, but then if he places that, then what have I got to... Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so like you have to like kind of... And also you could do this thing where if you push the snap button, the game goes, oh, snap! It's weird.
I'm just in
and it's basically what it does. It tells your opponent that you have the confidence that you're going to win.
Oh, you're like taunting.
Exactly. And then you can, each turn, if you do it from the start, you can get like these ranking cubes.
Okay.
And if you snap from the beginning, you can get up until 8 cubes. And if you win, you get 8 cubes. Your opponent loses 8 cubes. But if he's like, oh shit, is he bluffing?
Yeah.
Is he bluffing? Okay, I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to lose 8 points on my rank, so I'm just going to retreat. Then he only loses half of it only. Yeah.
So it's a bit pokery in the fact that you're like, oh, do they really have the cards, or are they just trying to get me to like back out? Oh, that's quite cool.
What I really like about it is you can't buy cards.
I was just about to say, is there any like pay to win buying?
No, you can
packs?
Rank up to get better cards.
Yeah.
The only thing you can buy is skins for the cards to like make them 3D or like pop out the frame and make it more rare looking.
Okay. That's fine.
It's a really cool game, but the fact that I like about it is that there's no pay to win.
That's
so far.
Well, yeah.
So far. You know, you never know what's going to come in the future with updates.
It's a free game, then, I assume.
It's a free game. Mm-hmm. And what I don't like, the one thing I don't like, there's no leaderboards. There's no stats segment.
Right.
To see your win-loss ratio.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sure they can add that.
And it feels like if they added that, it would make you feel more competitive and more like, oh, okay, I know where I'm going, how good I'm playing, or something like that. Now you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I won the last guy.
Yeah, I beat the last guy. My rank is this. I guess you've got ranks though, right? So you can see.
You kind of have ranks, but it's weird. It's not. You should download it yourself and see it.
Oh, it's just okay. I might give it a go. I don't really like Marvel. That's the only thing. So,
bad taste in my mouth.
Not into superheroes, unfortunately. So, I'll give it a go though.
You're into Nintendo.
I love a Nintendo.
You're like, I will take a stereotypical racist Italian guy, but show me a guy in the spandex flying around. No.
I just don't find it entertaining that much. That's all. Speaking of Nintendo, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say this. I don't know. It's fine. I haven't
cut.
I haven't signed an NDA, so it's all good. I got contacted this week on an email, and it was from it was from like some sort of, ad agency that, they contact people and they're like, oh, they contact people on behalf of bigger companies.
Okay.
So they contacted me and I was like, what's it? Because I get emails all the time from like Kickstarter games and stuff, and sometimes I'm not going to be, they're not a good looking game. They're not a game I'm interested in. It's a game that's just, I'm bored. I won't play that. So it's fine.
Yeah.
They're just promotional emails anyway. Like, I must be on like multiple freaking lists of random stuff. I don't know. But I got this one and I was like, oh, what's this? And it's like a Splatoon 3 Pokemon crossover thing that they're doing.
Okay.
And I was like, this Nintendo, that's cool. And so it's some sort of event that's happening like next weekend, I think. So and they were like, we just want people to play and enjoy it. And I'm like, I've never played Splatoon. I don't own Splatoon 3. And I was like, I was like, I've got to say yes, because if I say yes, then they're more likely to come back to me with other stuff in the future, right?
That's the future, yeah, right.
That's the idea. But yeah, they just want me to sort of like play the event or something, and they're sending me a copy of Splatoon 3 out, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take that. That's fucking sick.
That's cool, man.
But I've never played it, and I was like, I said to them on the email, I was like, oh, I'll have to get some practice in. They're like, no, just enjoy it. And I'm like, no, I really need to. I don't understand the game if I don't play it. I don't know, some sort of Pokemon crossover thing. I don't know. It sounds fun.
That's cool, man.
Sounds cool. It's one of those things where I'm going. It's one of those things where every now and again you feel like you're in a bit of a rut with the content and what you're doing. Yeah. And you're like, oh, my videos are doing bad and I don't know what to do. And then you just get something random like this will pop up and you go, oh my God, that's really lifted me and made me feel like,
it's really good, right?
That's so cool. Like, it's happened before with like indie games I've played and stuff. They'd be like, oh, do you want to put a skin in the game? And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, that's really cool. Oh. Or I think I had a video of mine. They showed like one of those PAX East or something. They had it on their stall when they were there, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool!" Like, I'm kind of there, but not. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
It's just, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a monetary, like, oh, I'm making loads of money. It's just like it's an honor to have been asked or anything. It's so cool. I just like share.
Now,
I'm not
of course,
bragging.
now
I'm not bragging.
Now it's like, oh, just the thought and the situation or what they do, that video stuff. You're like, oh, this is really cool. But when you're like a big YouTuber, like, where's the money, baby?
Yeah, but I get that, and sometimes I have had to say to people like, I'm gonna need some money for this because I'm gonna put some effort in, and it's gonna take me a while. But I sort of feel bad saying that because I'm like,
no, you shouldn't though.
I know, but I want to do it. I just want to do stuff. Like if somebody was like, we're going to pay you £1,000 or whatever to do the sponsored video, and they want me to come up with the concept, I'd spend all of that £1,000 on the video. I know that's a dumb way to do it, but that's kind of how I like to do things.
I know what you're saying, but I would probably be like, oh, okay, I'll just push record. Hey guys, check out this mobile game.
Yeah,
play it.
Yeah, we can do that. And sometimes that's fine to do. But sometimes if I want to feel like I'm giving them value for money.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So in that case, I'm like, I'm going to go spend it. And we're going to buy a car and spray paint it with the brand logo because I've got enough money to do that. I don't know. That's how it's not very, I guess it's not a very business clever mind, but.
Well, you have to invest money to make money. That's the.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Like I was saying before with the Rolling Stone thing, you have to like constantly invest to make more money. But there has to be you have to keep a little bit in the back.
Yeah. I mean, you
have to keep some not liquid money, but like stagnant money. You have to keep it there. Capital.
Stagnant money. You're back in your Swiss mind with your stagnant money. We're going to keep all our money for our children.
Just like I say, like the mentality I've always had It's been difficult nowadays because of, things breaking constantly in the office and have to replace everything.
Yeah.
Like if I get £100, 25, let's say £25, I keep stagnant. So that's just like that small piece I take out and that stays in the account no matter what. That's stuck there, basically like a rock. So it increases in value. And that,
so you've got like a savings.
I used to.
I used to, and then I spent.
I used to. I had to break into that account a few times to do things for the stream.
I mean, that's what
and
it's there
also
for,
and also like for like private things where I had to like say, okay, I'm gonna take money from there to put.
Yeah.
And now I'm broke. I'm. This is the worst feeling in the life. You're an adult. You're working a full-time job. You're something you've used for many years is breaking. You have money in your own account, but you just can't use it because you're like, oh, but it's not from the Twitch money.
Yeah. See, you have a very like nice set like way of working, that you have the money that you earn from what you're doing on Twitch or whatever or wherever you are is money that you can then spend on the same stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm a terrible person and I'm just like, sometimes I just want to do something and I'm just like, look, I've had a good week of work. I'm going to go and spend £200 on some dumb shit that's just because I want to do it. I'm sure this is why. I mean, this is not good advice. This podcast, I don't think has really ever been good advice most of the time. But I mean, sometimes I keep that money secret from my girlfriend. Not like I'm hiding it. It's not anything bad, but just like we have separate bank accounts. I earn what I earn. She earns what she earns. And obviously I make sure that in my bank, I always have money for the fuel and bills and all that stuff. But I won't necessarily tell her exactly how much I've earned, because then she'll know how much I've spent on stupid shit like Pokemon cards, and then that's not good for anyone. That's just going to be an argument.
That's just going to argument.
Exactly. But it always works out fine, and we're always good. That's the main thing.
Yeah. The thing that's what the thing with me and my wife also. We both have our own private accounts. Well, we used to. Well, we still have. Like, it's really weird. Like, I have an account, she has an account, and then we have
a
unified account, a joint account. And it's all about, like, I understand when you say, like, oh, you want to keep secrets. I completely understand that, why people do that. Because I feel, even though that's their spouse or girlfriend or partner for life, whatever you want to call it, they want to have that sense of, it's a nice feeling to have that sense of, like, what's the word? Independency? Independence?
Yeah.
Like you've got I don't need to look into my spouse's eyes for the money to do what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing.
You're both adults. You both understand that you have to pay bills and look after children and stuff. But there should be that little bit of extra money, if you've got it. I mean, these days, if you have extra money, it's a luxury. But if you have that bit of extra money, you know what? Go and buy yourself something. Go out and have a drink and get a meal or whatever. Like, you shouldn't. Yeah. I always feel like you shouldn't have to necessarily always ask the other person, like, "Oh, is it okay if I do this?" It's nice to have that bit. That's
it's very humiliating. It's very humiliating, and it's also very bad for a relationship when the partner has to ask another partner for money. Oh, can I spend money on this?
Yeah,
because it makes this weird power dynamic in a relationship, and it causes one person to feel annoyed. Yeah, because that person is always every time someone comes to ask you to use money. Even though it maybe it's not so much money and so often, but every time someone comes to ask you if they can use the money, you feel, oh my God, he's asking for money again.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? It makes that weird mental play in your head.
It's unfortunately just the way that society works, is that we have to have money and stuff, and it makes things awkward. It can do. And like, it's stupid. Like, you can love this person as like to the most you possibly can love anyone, but then dumb shit like, oh, fucking hell, he wants new shoes, or they need to buy this. It's pissing me off. And you're like, oh my God. Yeah. If we didn't have that, that'd be fine. Like, in my situation, my girlfriend has a full-time job.
Yeah.
She goes to it every day. She earns the most money. She earns more money than I do, for definite. Okay. Because, I mean, we've had it through our relationship where I've worked the full-time job and she's done a part-time job, and it's just switched over time, just stuff happens. But at the minute, she's doing that. She's just got a promotion and stuff. So, like, she's doing really well, and, like, she's really good at her job and stuff. But she does earn most of the money. because I'm the dumb little YouTube video guy who does that dumb stuff and sometimes works on a farm. So, I earn my own money. It's not as if I ask her for anything that wise, but
But you have to also say, like, one thing I have to give a huge props to your girlfriend for supporting you in your dream and your ambitions. That's such a cool thing, though.
It's ridiculous. Like, in the beginning, I felt so guilty? Bad. I mean, again, like it is. It's just that guilt of being like
guilty. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I do say to her, I'm like, I feel really bad that I get to sort of chase my dream and do what I want, and I don't want my dream and the fact that I'm doing that to stop you from doing what you want to do. I don't want you to feel like you have to go to work 9 to 5 every day doing something that you don't like. She does enjoy her job, so that's good at least. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to feel like she's got to put her dreams aside so that I can do mine. It's
very
not fair.
True.
That's not fair. But she has been very understanding, and I think because I've been doing this for so long, she does understand it more. Like, literally this morning, she woke me up. She was like, "Adam, wake up. Raps needs you." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You've got the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And I'm like, I mean, I feel like, like 7 years ago or whatever, it would have been a very different thing where she's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing that again? For God's sake, stop."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
green triangles. Green triangles.
That was a good. It was a good stream, I must say.
Thank you.
It's a fun stream. I'm glad I was able to pop by. Like, I had you on my TV because I was finishing editing like the podcast, and I saw you were live, and I was like, I'll put it on the TV while I just finish this up. And then I was like, oh, I'll get the chat on my phone, and then I can watch it, and I can type on my phone. And then they'd been out to like a fireworks display.
Oh, okay.
Because it was bonfire night.
Oh, right.
So they went out to that, and I didn't really want to go anyway. And I had the podcast to edit, so it was fine.
Yeah.
And then they got back, and they're like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm watching Raps. He's streaming." And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna watch him with you." And I was like, "Okay." And then she's like asking all these weird questions, and I was like. I kept saying to her while we were sat there, and she was like, "I've got another question." And I was like, "You do realize, like, is this how you make friends in real life with adults? Because this isn't how normal... This is fine to speak to children like that," which she works with kids in a nursery. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. A new kid comes in, you might go, "What's your favorite shape? What's your favorite color?" Asking an adult that is a bit weird. That's not how we make friends. And then she was like...
weird.
She said they had a new member of staff start, like, last week or something. She was like...
Yeah.
My first day with them was just me asking these dumb questions. I'm like, that's not normal. You spend too much time with kids that you don't know how to interact with grown-ups.
But it was a really good question. It caught me so off guard. It's like, what's your favorite shape? Oh shit, what is my favorite shape?
My favorite bit. So for anyone listening to the podcast, go and watch the stream because you have to watch it. It was good. It was a Minecraft. It was a Minecraft speed run. My favorite one was the question about like the stovetop, the hob.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, we were pissing ourselves laughing because when you said, "Hang on, Colesy, which one do you don't use the front ones, do you?" I was like, "Oh my god, we figured it out. If you can ask this question to somebody, which stovetop ring do they use? And if they say the front, you go, no, stay away from me. You are a psychopath. That's not normal. If you choose to use the front rings, that's insane." And then
right?
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. And it wasn't until we asked this question, we were like having this thing that we were going, "No, yeah, it's definitely weird to use the front ones if you can use the back." And then you did your little drawing on paint. And I was like, "Oh, we should get that little drawing on paint, put it on a t-shirt, circle the right ring and be like, this is the right ring to like," or you circle the front and you go, "I am a psychopath." And I'm like, 100% works. 100%. If you don't use the backmost ring, the little circle on your stovetop on your hob, you're living on the edge. I don't know why you take that risk.
Man.
Why do you take the risk?
I had to when I was cooking one time for Christmas. The back ones were all full, and I had to like use the front ones too.
Yeah.
I was nervous. Like I was constantly cautious, like where my hand's going.
Yeah.
And you're out of focus.
Hello, hand. And face. There we go.
And I was like so nervous the whole time. Like I was gonna like I almost nearly tipped over the pot with the hot boiling like sauce in it. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, this is so stressful.
Yeah, no, don't use the front rings. It's crazy.
No, it's so weird. I've seen even stoves like with only 2 rings and they put it way back. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They know that that's safe.
Also, when do you need all 4?
I mean, literally the only time I can think is like Christmas, like when you're doing a big family dinner and you're like, I've got to put multiple things.
It's like, unless you're like a Michelin star cook.
Yeah, I've never used all 4 at the same time.
You have. I don't have the attention span to keep my eye on 4 cooking elements.
No,
it's gonna burn everything.
Something's burning for sure. I can't even stir 4 pots at once. What am I, an octopus? It doesn't work. I like using a wok because I've started using a wok to do like stir fry and stuff. But I like using that because you basically just chuck everything into one pot, just stir it for a while. It's the simplest thing ever.
I can't use woks.
Oh no, why not?
Because the metal on metal scratching when you use like the ladle.
Well, use a wooden spoon.
I bought a wooden ladle also. I had a plastic ladle, but it melted. But I used a wooden one, and it's working. But sometimes when I used to have to use a metal one, or my wife is cooking, and she uses like a spoon to scrape on a plate or something, I'm like,
it's like when if you're like using a knife and fork on a plate, and you go, and you're like, yeah, it's horrible. It is horrible. It's
like my
fingers on a chalkboard, just like
like that. My oldest son started using like metal utensils.
Yeah.
And a plate, and I'm like, stop it! He's like, why are you so angry? Like, I don't know. This is rational anger. Just stop it.
See, my girlfriend gets really angry at me irrationally for chewing or crunching loudly.
I hate that. I hate you.
But, yeah, okay, right. Chewing, I get it. You don't want. Kids are terrible with it because they don't understand. Yeah, it's the open mouth eating. It's not good. Don't hate it. But like, if I have a bag of crisps and I'm like, I'm gonna just a little snack while we're sat on the sofa, and I'm like, they're crunchy. They're crisps. They're made to be crunchy. I can't. What, do you want me to stick them in my mouth and suck them? It's stupid. I can't do that. It's dumb.
You put it in your mouth, Colesy. I'm going to teach you how to do this now.
Okay,
teach me how to do it. Put it in your mouth, and then you salivate, and it makes the crisp soggy, and then you can silently chew it.
Okay, what about cereal? I'm having a bowl of cornflakes. I've put the milk in. So you want me to sit and wait for the cornflakes to go soggy?
There you go.
That's horrible. I want the crunchiness. That's why I've picked cornflakes.
Okay, like when you chew crunchy things, do you open your mouth occasionally to like let air in?
I'm not a baby. I'm fine. I can breathe. I've got a nose. It's fine. I've got a nose to breathe. I don't need to open my mouth. I'm not that disgusting. It's just the crunching in general.
You just have to learn how to chew correctly.
Correctly. Crunchy foods are crunchy. They're made to be crunchy. They make a crunch when you crunch them.
So, like, do you put the whole crisp? Like, if you take a Pringle, do you put the whole thing in your mouth, or do you just like bite chips, small chunks of it?
No, I can fit a whole Pringle in my mouth easy.
That's the problem.
But that's how you're supposed to. But if I'm gonna do more crunching. I'm gonna. There's gonna be the snap.
Pieces. Yeah, the snap is fine. It's the whole.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to eat. What? I put a spoonful of cornflakes in my mouth. They go. I can't nibble a cornflake in half. I'm not a rabbit.
Do you have this thing where if you lie in bed next to your partner or your girlfriend or your wife, and you start you swallow, like you swallow because you feel like you have a lot of spit in your mouth, and then you become subconscious about the sound of your mouth. The mouth sounds you're making at that moment?
Literally never. Literally never.
And then you're like constantly like,
no.
It's just like I'm like sitting next to my bed. I'm like, I gotta stop making this noise. It's so disgusting. It's so loud. She's gonna get so annoyed with me. I'm just like salivating in my mouth the whole time. Like,
no, because it's just a bodily function.
Yeah, but you're considerate. I'm just trying to be. I don't want to be inconsiderate.
Maybe you're overthinking it, and she doesn't care in the slightest.
Oh, she doesn't care. But like last time, she was eating something, and she had a stuffy nose. She's like, like, God, could you not chew like that? She's like,
yeah,
what?
Okay. In that situation, you're sick. You don't have many options. You might have to open mouth breathe while eating because your nose is all stuffed up.
Oh man! Or one time, my kid, he brought a friend over, and that kid was eating with an open mouth.
Oh.
He's like,
Yeah.
I just went to the kids. Hey. I don't want to be rude. Just close your mouth and just don't do that ever again.
You not like find it's really awkward when you have like one of your kids' friends around and you sort
It's
of
so
like
weird.
you don't want to be like you don't want to tell them off or anything. Like you're just like, oh, that's a bit weird. Stop picking your nose, but you don't want to say stop picking your nose because that's not my child. It feels weird. I don't want to.
No, I just go like, oh, it's disgusting.
Hey, you sick child, stop it.
No, I just make it the thing of I make them feel awkward for doing it, and like that's disgusting, dude.
Oh, I hate it. I don't want to make anyone feel awkward, even if they're a child.
No, because like, you've replaced your child in my responsibility for a few hours, so you can go fuck off and do whatever you want.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna tell your child when they're doing something disgusting.
that they're
It's
disgusting.
disgusting. Yeah. And if you're like, oh, what child told me you did that you told them they're disgusting. Yeah, your child was picking their nose and then eating it.
Good for you.
You want to tell them that's a good thing?
Good for you. Doesn't it give you like iron or something? I don't know.
No, that's when your kid has like mental issues.
No, well, I think all kids pick their nose. I mean, they do.
I think the thing is like sometimes where I read like when monkeys eat their own poo, it's because they're stressed.
There's stress.
Like I think it's the same thing with kids when they eat their snot. I'm like, what's wrong?
Yeah,
Sit down, have a beer. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe they're just insane. Kids are insane. Literally,
Kids are insane, yeah.
my niece the other day, she was round at my mum's house. My mum was looking after her, and my nephew was there as well. She was looking after both the kids, and my nephew's the older one. He's only like 2, 3. I don't know, 2 or 3.
Okay.
And my niece she's like just a toddler. She's literally like 1 year old.
Aw.
He came in and he was like, Lola playing. And they were like, what's she playing with? And he was like, Play-Doh. And they're like, okay, that's weird. Where'd you get Play-Doh from? Turns out it wasn't Play-Doh. Turns out the dog had shat in the house. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, luckily, she hadn't like really touched it. She wasn't like fully. You didn't walk into the hallway and she was like covered in it. It wasn't. It was there. The dog had obviously. It was raining, so the dog couldn't be bothered to go outside because she's old. So she just shat in the hallway, and then she was kind of sat next to it. And you're like, we're gonna wash you entirely in case you've touched it, but Jesus Christ,
Dog's like, humans call me dirty.
Yeah. I mean, kids insane. I'm like, freaking hell. The other thing that happened this week. Yeah, my nephew was at my mum's and she was looking after both of them again while my sister was at work. And he he says, oh, Lola pushed me. And she pushed him over. He hit his head and there was blood, a lot of blood. They had to go to hospital to have his head like glued
Stitched.
back together.
Oh, shit.
Just a little bit of... They didn't stitch it. They just glued it. So apparently that was enough. But yeah, my nephew managed to crack his head a bit. Bit of blood. My mum rang. Me and my dad were in the car driving home. And she was all like terrified and upset. And it was really scary. And I remember saying to my dad on the way home in the car, I was like, Dad, I want to cry. And he's like, yeah, I feel the same way. We're just worried. But turns out he was absolutely fine. He got to the hospital and he was like playing football and he was annoyed because they were like wanted to glue his head and he's like, I'm playing football, guys, come on. And he's perfectly fine, but apparently a lot of blood, turns out.
The thing is, like before we end the podcast, kids, like British kids
specifically,
particularly fucking British kids, are weird.
That's mean.
No, Colesy. If my son had a gash in his head, he would not be like, I want to play football. He'd be crying, he'd be like sad and like,
I see your kids are weak.
British kids are like, yeah, I got a stab wound, man. It's fine. Just let me play me footy, man.
He was obviously initially upset and scared, and then he fell asleep in the car on the way to the hospital, which obviously, to be honest, my sister is like
not good at...
She's the strongest person I know. She rang me and she was like, we're on the way to the hospital. And I'm like, is he all right? And they're like, well, he's asleep. And we keep squeezing his hand and like shouting at him. And he's responding. So yeah, he's fine. And I'm like, I'd be in tears. I'd be terrified. I'd be so scared. But she's like just the best. She needs an award.
She works in that. She works in that industry. She's like, I've seen shit.
She's been through it because my nephew's had to have like all these brain surgeries when he was born and stuff. So like she's been at hospital and like, fucking dude, she is like the solidest person I know. Like she's so good. Anyway, but like obviously my mum was terrified. She had blood all over her shirt and stuff. And she's like,
no.
It won't stop bleeding. And then my sister got there. She's like, that's fine actually. That's not even that bad. And my sister was like, do you think we need to go to hospital? Mum's like, definitely. She's like, I guess we should go. And they just glued it up and he's fine. Yeah. He's all good. He's quite happy. So, but yeah, kids are terrifying. And apparently British kids really, really strong and your kids are weak.
Yeah, thank you.
That'll be the Swissness that's got to them.
Well, wait till South African kicks in.
Okay, right. Well, we should probably end the podcast now, shouldn't we?
Yeah, because we have to do. Because I just got a message.
You got to go buy cookies.
So yeah, got a message on my phone that the podcast is released.
Oh yeah, a podcast just went out as we're filming a podcast. That's good. Well, thank you everyone.
Oh, look at that. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Rapskilian. Love if with a bit of pie. Thank you for sticking around. Give us your information below.
Give us
whatever that means. Information. What I wanted to say is to give us your opinion about the topics we talked about and covered in this top podcast below.
Check out all the links.
And
do that.
Check out all the links.
Follow Raps on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube now too. I didn't say that.
Yay!
I'm back. Hello. But yeah, so I'll get rid of the Twitch link because I don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Twitch is gone. Twitch has released a lot of good, sorry for ending it. They added a lot of good features recently, and I'm like,
well, you've made a choice now.
No, I've made a choice. I got to stick with it for another year.
Yeah, and then we'll change back. It'll be fine. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching.
Love is a bit of pie. Catch you guys next time.